Hey there, everyone. Dr. Beth Westie here, and I wanted to come on and talk about the connection between brain fog and weight gain and the inability to lose weight, even. Yeah. This is a thing. So, also, really quick, if you are not on the wait list for the next 12-week challenge, swipe up here. Swipe up. I'm putting it in the comments. It's in the comments. Link for the wait list is in the comments. Registration is on Friday. Once the registration link gets released, it usually fills in about 24 hours. So, with that in mind, if you want the link, got to get on the wait list. Yes. And these are some of the things that we go over, right? We go over the specific things you are having an issue with. A lot of times, women try and follow I'm following this plan, I'm doing this nutrition thing, I'm following this thing, and I'm doing my macros, and I'm counting my calories, and I'm following this workout. Great. But if you have other issues that you're not addressing, that are not being addressed, that no one's paying attention to, then you're not going to be able to really get the results that you want and keep them. I don't care how hard you're working out. I don't care what type of magic, meal you're prepping for the week. Like, oh, I've got all this perfect. Okay, great. But if you feel like garbage, if you have brain fog, right? If you feel like not mentally sharp, that is a big signal that there's other things going on in your system, right? And this is one of the things I hear this a lot from women when they have an issue and they go into their doctor and they say something, right? And I recently had several appointments, which, if you've followed my stories over the past couple of weeks, you'll know that I got bit by a brown recluse spider. Yes, I am on day 11 now, post bite, I think. I think that's it. 11 or 12. Yeah, so I'm like way better than I was. But one of the things that drove me absolutely bananas was when I went in for my appointments and they asked me, what are your symptoms, or, kind of what's going on? I'm like, well, besides this disgusting bite that's on my leg, right? Like the necrotic dead tissue, right? Other things I was experiencing, I had fever, I had pain, and I was very nauseous and I couldn't eat. And some of the first things that came out of their mouth were like, "Oh, do you want anti-nausea medication?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want just like throw more medication." I mean, no, I'm just telling you all the things that are going on with my body so you can like break it down and really look at what's going on. And it really wasn't until the third appointment I had, that ER doctor that I went to. The ER doctor, I said, "Listen, I am really struggling with a few things. The pain is the worst. Yeah, my bite hurts, but I have pain head to toe. I'm struggling to like do things. I can't get out of bed sometimes because the pain is so bad. And I'm very nauseous and I can't eat." And he was like, "Okay, well, do you want anti-nausea medication?" I'm like, "No. I want to know what's going on. Like, is it because of the infection or is it because of the venom?" Those are two different things. Those are two different things. And if we're treating the infection, great, with the antibiotics, super. But if we're not treating the venom, then I need to figure out how to get this out of my body because it's wrecking my life right now, man. Right? And this is the same thing. This is the same thing. You have to address, I know that was kind of a long story to explain this, but if you have things going on like brain fog, and this is a really tough one because it's brain fog. You can't think clearly or you can't remember quite as well. And you're like, well, I don't know. Was it that bad that long ago? I don't know. Maybe it was better. Maybe I was doing this before. Maybe that's why it's not. This is why I always encourage people to track things. In the 12-week challenge, I give you a big binder, a big journal thing to record and write things down because your experience is so important to track because of things like this. It's hard to remember. And once this starts to improve, it changes so many things. Super fun. I had a call yesterday with a gal who, one of the things that she told me that she gave me as feedback was that her husband told her that she seemed better. She seemed way less stressed. She seemed like, he said smarter, but like she remembered things quicker and easier, all this other stuff. Like it was just her brain was turned on, things were firing way different because your body and your brain are healthier. So when we try and just chase, the weight loss and we try and chase this, we end up going in circles if we're not paying attention to these other things, because the body never does anything without a reason, right? The body always has a reason and a purpose for giving you a sign or a signal. And your health is cumulative, and everything is connected. All your systems are connected, and it all matters. Now, that can seem overwhelming when you're looking at it and you're like, well, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I've got brain fog. I've also got these aches and pains. I've got this inflammation. My gut health is terrible. My hormones are off. Yeah, and I can't lose weight. Okay, then that's exactly what we need to look at. All of it. This is why we dive into it in the 12-week challenge, right? We go over your hormone test. We look at what your system needs. We look at nutrient depletion. Nutrient depletion can lead to brain fog. And what do you know? It also leads to weight gain and inability to lose weight. I don't care. I don't care how many calories you're eating. I don't care how many miles you run in a day. You can't outrun this. You're actually digging yourself a worse hole. You're making it worse the longer this goes on. The more you cut calories, the more you cut out nutrient groups, the more you cut out carbs, things like that, you're making these things worse. Yeah. Things like your gut-brain axis. This is that gut-brain connection. Your digestive system is in charge of like immune response, producing a lot of neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, epinephrine, all these things that make your brain work the way that it should, right? And so if you have brain fog, your gut-brain axis is going to be off, but this also leads to more weight gain. Oh, so fun. No, not fun, not fun, but very closely connected. Also hormonal imbalance, and I put overload here. If you have an overload of hormone, if your body has estrogen dominance, right? Estrogen and progesterone, they pass through the blood-brain barrier. That means they impact. They've actually done studies where it shows that women are more likely to retain healthy habits or any habit that you want to create when you initiate that habit during the first part of your cycle. Yes. Why would that be? Why would that be? Hormones, and the impact of hormones on your brain. It matters. It matters. It's not just about willpower or anything like that. It matters. So these are things, of course, that we address because we test for it and we address in the 12-week challenge. Stress response, your cortisol levels, your adrenals, everything like that. Of course, both, right? I've done tons of videos on this on my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Beth Westie. So yes. And then the last one I put here is that if you can't detox. If you can't detox, you're going to have an overload in your system overall. And this can be detoxing excess chemicals that you come into contact with, byproducts from just, reactions happening in your body. This is something I think people forget, that every time there is a reaction in your system, and this happens all the time without you even thinking about it, but we're all kind of familiar with like, oh, I worked out, right? I worked out and I worked these muscles. And then now there's lactic acid. Lactic acid would be the byproduct of those muscles working, right? Yes. Okay, like that. Your body has to detox that lactic acid. That's just one tiny example of all these things that happen in your system. And if your body's having a hard time detoxing, it's going to lead to brain fog and it's going to lead to more weight gain. Yay! I know what you're thinking right now. Make it stop. Make it stop. No, I don't want this and I don't want this. Right? Okay, then we have to work on these things. Again, this is what we do in the 12-week challenge, so make sure you're on the wait list there below. This is why we test for your hormones, we make the recommendations for you specifically, and make sure we're nourishing your body the way that it needs. Yeah. Let me know if you guys have questions on any of this stuff. Let me know if there's something here that doesn't make sense, or you want me to do a deep dive on. More than happy to do that. A lot of my videos that I do, the questions come from you. I get questions from women all over the world every single day. So you are not alone in feeling like this. You are not alone and feeling frustrated and stuck and like, am I crazy? Oh my gosh. No joke, I went through a test yesterday, and this gal, I was on the phone with her and I was talking about her report, and she got really quiet and I was like, hey, so listen, sometimes I feel bad, like giving you this news. Like, you got a lot of stuff on here. Like, as I was talking about her report, I was like, yeah, like this is not good. This is also not good. You know what? Of this whole page, you got like one thing that's okay. So, and she got real quiet, and then I felt really bad. And I was like, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's not good news. And then I feel bad that I'm like, dun, 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 like everything is terrible here. Huh? And she goes, you know what? I almost didn't get this test. I almost didn't do this because I was terrified it was going to show that everything was normal, like all these other things have. And I was like, what? Really? She's like, yeah. She goes, I promised myself I wouldn't get upset about this. She goes, but, and I could tell she started to kind of cry a little bit. And she's like, thank you so much for going through this and for showing me all of this because I was driving myself crazy with all of the things I was doing, with how I felt internally. And brain fog was a big thing for her. And she was like, yeah, because I got this other blood test done and it said, oh, it's fine. And I was like, listen, if you got a blood test done like midday, it would show your cortisol is fine, but they're not testing your adrenals and they're not testing the morning or evening levels. So it doesn't show the full picture of what's going on for you. And that's when she had big issues, was in the evening. This huge fight or flight response going on. And I was like, that's what we're seeing. So she got really like, okay, I'm not upset. And I was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, no, no, no. I'm really glad that you're telling me this. I'm really glad that I got this test. I'm glad that you're going over this with me. And she goes, it makes me not feel crazy. And that's the thing I hear so much, that like looking at your numbers, like this feels validating. This makes me understand my body more, all these other things. And it's because one, we have brain fog, but two, we're told to just like, oh, suck it up, or oh, it'll get better, or oh, you really need to be doing this, when listen to your body. Again, your body's giving you these signals for a reason. But sometimes it takes a little help to decipher and understand what that is. So this is why I do what I do. I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. And even though there's some moments like that where I got kind of nervous that I was like hurting her feelings, on the phone, but really she was really grateful for the information. And I was like, yep, this is a tough place to start, but this is the starting point. Now we know where it is. Instead of thinking that we're, in a different place, we know where your starting point is and we can work from it from here. Right? Yeah. So that's what I got for you guys today. A little rant again. But a couple other resources I have for you, of course, are my books, The Female Fat Solution and The Female Menopause Solution. These are on Amazon. And I also have my podcast, The Female Health Solution. I've got some really fun episodes coming up. So make sure you are subscribed to that to stay updated. Yeah. All right. So that's what I got for you guys today. Let me know if you have any other questions, or let me know if you have questions on the Dutch test, or, what we see with this on the Dutch test or something like that. Again, drop a comment down below. If you are ever not comfortable commenting, you are always free to either email me or message me privately, because sometimes people get nervous about asking questions, and that's totally fine. But I promise I have heard them all. So I just want to make sure that the information you're getting is helpful enough for you to make the next best step forward for you and your health. So that's what I got for you tonight. Otherwise, have a great night, and I will see you guys later.